Hi, Vince Palamara. Thought I'd give a little quick synopsis of my 5 books and a major DVD and Blu-ray I'm in. First one is Survivor's Guilt, The Secret Service and the Failure to Protect President Kennedy. This came out in 2013. Many years of hard labor on this one, a lot of work. It was contacting all the surviving former agents who protected President Kennedy and other presidents too, from FDR through Reagan. And a lot of these gentlemen have since passed away, and this is if I do say so myself, it's a good, maybe even a very good look at the Secret Service and what they did and did not do to protect President Kennedy. And the value of this is that a lot of these agents have since passed away, so it's good to have their thoughts on record. This book has done very well. Again, came out in 2013, my first book. Second book is JFK from Parkland to Bethesda. Came out in 2015, and like the first one, it's done very well. Did very well right out of the chutes, and still doing well like the first one. This one focuses on the medical evidence, all the Parkland and Bethesda witnesses, and all points in between. And what it does is it's literally trying to compile every statement, verbal or written, from all the people from Parkland, Bethesda, and all points in between about President Kennedy's wounds. So in other words, every time Robert McClellan made a comment about the wounds, it's there, and Dr. Perry and Dr. Jenkins, etc., etc. You get to see changing stories. You get to see the people that were consistent, so on and so forth. What it was a reaction to all these authors, well-meaning, that would always say, 26 witnesses said the back of the president's head was gone, the throat wound was an entrance wound, the X amount of witnesses. And I was like, okay, exactly who, when did they say it, how many times they say it, were they consistent? This is the answer to that. Third one is the Not-So-Secret Service. This came out in 2017. You see like a 2-year interval. First one was 2013, second one was 2015, this third one was 2017. It's done pretty well, decent. This was basically a loose ends of my first book on the Secret Service, things that came out since the book came out and things that confirm and corroborate certain things as well. And also a brief look at the agents from FDR to Reagan, but it's mainly on the Kennedy assassination. And the big claim to fame of this one is Gary Byrne, former Secret Service officer, wrote Question of Character. Well, in the second book, he uses as a source. This is my fourth book, came out the very next year, 2018. I broke the 2 years thing because I wasn't 100% happy with this one. I thought that it didn't really succeed as a book. It was good information, but book-wise, it was a little lacking. This one I'm really proud of, but unlike all my other books, this one pretty much stiffed. Didn't really sell as well. The one good claim to fame, though, was 3-time Pulitzer Prize-winning author Carol Leonig of Zero, Fail, Fame, and Donald Trump. He wishes he was a doctor. Donald Trump fame. She wrote an anti-Trump book. Well, she uses this as a source. And like I said, I'm very proud of this book. This goes back really from Lincoln, because Lincoln basically founded the Secret Service, all the way up to the Trump era. It's all the most renowned, infamous, good, bad, ugly Secret Service agents, and this is what this is. And like I said, this for some reason this didn't really catch hold with a lot of people, but not from a quality standpoint. No, they didn't like it. It just, quite frankly, this didn't do as well as the other ones, but that's that. This one is carrying on the traditions. My 5th book came out 2021, Honest Answers by the Murder of President John F. Kennedy, a new look at the JFK assassination. Like the first and second books, this has done very well. It's been out a little over a year. And this is a look at the JFK assassination as far as all the hard evidence of conspiracy. No theories, just everything laid out there. Kind of like what I did with my first and second book. The first book details all about the JFK agents. The second book's all about the medical evidence. Well, this one is like, okay, I want to know what is the hard evidence of conspiracy in the Kennedy assassination. This is it. This is what we know, what we don't know, probably what we'll never know. I'm very honest about it. And this is it. And like I said, thank you, everybody. The reaction has been very well. Finally, just want to say, I'm in the Men Who Killed Kennedy. That was, on DVD and VHS, and it's on YouTube, and that's done pretty well. And I'm also the new UK documentary. I think it's being shown in Australia. UK should be worldwide soon. It's just simply called The Assassination of JFK. Well, in the meantime, on DVD and Blu-ray, you can see my major appearance in a coup and Camelot. It's also available on television, Amazon Prime. I'm very proud of this. I'm on there about 15 minutes, and the acclaimed actor and narrator Peter Coyote narrates my talk on here, and I think it did really well. So that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Hi, Vince Palamara here. Thought I'd give you a little brief synopsis of my 5 books on the JFK assassination, the Secret Service, and other presidents. First one, Survivor's Guilt, Secret Service and the Failure to Protect President Kennedy, came out in 2013. And yeah, this one is all about the agents that protected or failed to protect President Kennedy. Focuses mainly on November 22nd, 1963, but also the days before and after. And I guess in one respect, you could argue it also focuses on the months and years before November 22nd, 1963, because, you know, it shows about security protocols that should have happened and President Kennedy would have lived if they would have invoked those. I interviewed a lot of the Secret Service agents that protected President Kennedy, many of whom have passed on since I interviewed them. And again, that came out in 2013. Next book, JFK, From Parkland to Bethesda. I guess these are gonna look in reverse order or whatnot. But anyway, JFK, From Parkland to Bethesda. It's all about the medical evidence and the assassination. And what I wanted to do was, I was so tired of books, researchers, authors, people in general saying, you know, many Parkland doctors said such and such, and many people at Bethesda said such and such. And what I wanted to do was have a compendium of each statement of every doctor, nurse, medical witness, even some Dealey Plaza people that were germane to the medical evidence. Every single statement, for example, Dr. Perry made, Dr. McClellan made, so we could know exactly to the letter all the medical witnesses that said the back of the head was gone, throat wound appeared to be an entrance, etc., and even those that dissented. We could also tell changing stories, because we know, like, for example, Dr. Marion Jenkins really changed the story up and down. Some other ones too, when they spoke to Posner, or allegedly spoke to Posner. But in other words, this is what it is. It's a compendium of every single medical witness. And it happened at the time, I actually had the 26 volumes of the Warren Commission report, not just something from the internet. Back then, I actually had them for several years and I ended up selling them. That's another story. But what I want to do is, again, compile every medical evidence statement. And just like my first book, it does include original research, because I spoke to Aubrey Reich on video, got that on video, Gerald Custer twice, got that on video twice, and also corresponded with a lot of them. And just like the Secret Service agents, a lot of these gentlemen and women have passed away. So from basically Parkland and Bethesda and all points in between. Okay, 2000, and I had to think for a second, 2017, third book came out, The Not So Secret Service, Agency Tales from FDR to the Kennedy assassination to the Reagan era. And this book is basically a loose ends kind of book. Things that didn't make the first book on the Secret Service, some stuff that corroborates and strengthens certain points. It's kind of like a loose ends. First book did really well and has done very well. Same with the second book. Third book has done decent. I can't complain. It's done pretty good. But again, it's like, you know, it goes from FDR to Reagan, and obviously there is a special emphasis on Kennedy assassination and JFK in general. I'm very proud of this book, Who's Who in the Secret Service, History's Most Renowned Agents. Came out the following year, 2018. Just gonna say something real quick about the third one. Greatest claim to fame for this one was that former Secret Service officer Gary Byrne, it's that Question of Character author about Clinton, #1 bestseller, massive bestseller. Well, he used this in his next book as a reference. Well, my fourth book, again, 2018, Who's Who in the Secret Service, unlike the first three, basically stiffed. I mean, I guess there just isn't an interest in the Secret Service in general. It is what it is. I spoke to a former agent, Dan Emmett, and he said that's what he's found, and he's an author, and his book has done well, but probably not as good as it could have. I'm very proud of this book, though. It just, nobody really bought it, but a very big claim to fame is Carol Leonig, 3-time Pulitzer Prize winner, and author of that controversial book, Zero Fail, that I have issues with, she used this as a reference. So there you go. Fifth and more likely final book. 5 books in 8 years. What else do I have to say? I have said it all. Is Honest Answers About the Murder of President John F. Kennedy, a new look at the JFK assassination. This came out in 2021, a tiny bit over a year ago. This is late March 2022. This came out like about March 19th, 2021, not including pre-sales. And like the first 2, it's done very well. First one did very well, it's done very well. Second one, just a smidge under, but very good. Third one, okay. Fourth one, stiffed, other than that Carol Leonig credit. This one has done very well and continues to do very well. I'm pleasantly surprised. And the response has been very good. Response is very good to other ones too. Third one, a little mixed. But this one has done really well, response-wise and sales-wise. But what I wanted to do was, and this is basically inspired by some people always telling me, Vince, yeah. Okay, I understand Secret Service and blah, blah, but who killed Kennedy? So what I wanted to do is present a book that was honest, that showed what we know, what we don't know, what we're probably never going to know. It's just my take, my honest take on things. I come clean, I think as a lot of you probably already knew, back in 2007, for about 6 months, we're talking 15 years ago, I've come clean about this. I briefly kind of went to the dark side. I was very much swayed by Vince Bugliosi at the time. Although I wasn't totally gone, I still believe there was multiple conspiracies to kill Kennedy at the time. I just thought that, well, forgive me, I thought Oswald beat them to the punch. I was going through a difficult time in my life. I'm happily married now, but at the time I was going through a divorce. And I kind of like, we've taken as far as we can go. Posner, Bugliosi, I was ripe for the plucking to be fooled. Well, ever since that time, I guess during my rehabilitation on the case, Doug Horn, James Douglas, other people have kind of whipped me back into shape, and I've seen a lot of things that definitely are pro-conspiracy. And I outlined in this book. This book basically is all the evidence of conspiracy. Again, what we know, what we don't know, what we're probably never going to know. And I'm very honest about it. I don't claim to have all the answers. And you'll see that. And people have been very positive about the book. I think it's a refreshing take on the case. And again, it includes, in my opinion, all the hard evidence of conspiracy. In other words, no theories. Like, come on. What is the evidence of a conspiracy in the Kennedy assassination? Don't give me theories. Don't give me all this wild stuff. I want to know. And this is what this book does. It's what it entails. So, there you go. Thanks.